Hey, what?
Down.
Whatever.
Countdown.
You don't ever see the countdown.
Countdown. It's at 5. And then it went away.
Riverside does
I
not
guess
like
not. I saw a countdown yesterday.
you.
I did.
Oh well.
I really did. Anyway, hi everybody. Welcome to
Hello.
On the Back Hash. This is episode number 55. Sequento Cinco.
Somewhere around there.
And
yeah. Okay. We're up 45 seconds in. There we go.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you're getting all the shenanigans today, folks. With me today is Zach and William. Chris could not make it. He is on a flight to the Bermuda Triangle.
To search for Atlantis.
He's going to try to see if he can find the lost city.
yes,
He should be back soon, though.
we hope.
So, how you doing, fellas?
It's cold.
It is cold, man.
I did not appreciate that rehearsal atmosphere today.
Oh, Jesus.
That
It
ain't it.
didn't seem to bother the kids, besides slipping and sliding everywhere.
Oh, that was too much.
Listen, we ran the percussion break today, and they just was falling every.
It was-
it was like
Somebody
bad news
almost died
bears.
like 12 times.
It was like we ran the show. And it's like we're gonna do just a percussion break again. It was yeah.
Very
But
touch and
everybody
go.
survived. Yes, it
Barely.
was.
So would it rain?
Yeah, it was just sprinkling. And of course, you know we're on a tarp. So it was like, ooh. Ooh.
Damn.
But yeah, it was interesting times, to say the least. So, speaking of marching band, BOA, Bands of America, or as we're calling it, Bands of Texas and Friends.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically.
Bands of Texas.
'Cause, God.
Yeah. We are in the pretty good chunk of it. I know we hadn't got to talk about it a whole lot. So we're gonna talk about a few groups today that we've seen via YouTube. Like I said, we all teaching band and Will's scouting bands in Washington and Oregon. So our Saturdays are pretty taken up, and this is not a slam on Box Files or anything, but they don't have the next day rebroadcast, so we can't see them on Sundays like Flo does. But that would be
The away, go back to flow.
Oh, well, see, I was trying to avoid that.
I said it.
Please.
At least it was him and
not
not
me
me this
this
time.
Oh, this is true. This is true.
Do it. It's so
I'm
much
doing
better.
better.
Sorry.
Learning. It's the fifth graders, man. They made you soft.
You done got soft.
So what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of look through the top 32. This is the rankings as of October 10th. I don't know when they update them. So this is their October 10th rankings. So if you've never been to hornrank.com, they kind of do some of the hard work for us and watch and pay attention to the bands all across the country. I think these rankings deal with bands that are going to BOA. So like, Grand Nats. So like you might be like, this band's really, really good. Why aren't they on the list? They might not be going to Grand Nats. But it's kind of giving people just a roundabout view. It's something like band. It's really hard to just do like an AP poll like it is in sports. There's only so many college scenes or whatever that you can watch. When with band, it's hard. But I think they do a pretty good job of at least grouping folks in the right atmosphere. I'd be interesting to see like how they pan out like what their final rankings are compared to like how they actually
What
end up.
actually happens?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine it's probably not too far off for them.
Mhm.
So, um,
So this is similar to DCI with whatever show they've been to, and then
mhm. They look at head
Well,
to head and
well, like
go ahead,
on
Dak.
their on the actual website, it says like, here's how we create our top 32.
Hmm.
They have reputable advisors that submit their ranks every week that are converted into a weighted number system. Then they have scores and placements with weight based on how recent that competition happened. Um, non-BOA events are taken into account, just not as much as BOA ones.
Hmm.
Strength of schedule
Mm.
and
Yeah.
notable competition.
They got an RPI system.
it's a
Dang.
lot.
And it
I was
says
about to say,
notable caption
Jesus,
placements.
somebody doing
And
real,
Yeah.
it
real
says
work.
and then it says at the bottom, it says that it's just like college football's top 25. Rankings are not fact, but merely a matter of opinion based on criteria developed by
Yeah.
HornRank and its advisors.
So there you go. So if you are a super ultra mega band nerd, this is the website for you.
Hmm.
For real.
It is the one. And then they have nice little bios about each of the bands,
Hmm.
and sometimes information about current year shows, information about current past shows, past rankings. Um, so yeah, they do a lot. They're doing the Lord's work.
Hmm.
So good for them. So what we're gonna do, if you guys are cool with it, we'll probably start at the bottom and kind of work our way to the top. And if we've seen something or noticed something, or say we should look out for somebody, um, we can kind of look at that and we can just kind of briefly talk about that because, like I said, there's so many shows we can't catch them all. We crammed research the past couple of days um, just to make sure, which is probably a good thing, fresh look, and we get to catch them at the middle of the season
Hmm.
when they got more of their show on
Mm-hmm.
and all that good stuff. So we're gonna start with their next 10 out. So if their rankings were expanded to 43, these would be in those next 10 out. These are in alphabetical order, so we don't know where they actually rank in the next 10. Um, but we could talk about something. So we have Bartlett High School out of Tennessee. We have Bentonville out of Arkansas. Castle out of Indiana. Clearbrook out of Texas. Fishers out of Indiana. James Bowie out of Texas. Jenison out of Michigan. LD Bell out of Texas. Union out of Oklahoma. And Westlake out of Texas.
Shout out to
There
Clearbrook.
you go. Um, so a couple of these groups are like Clearbrook. I know Fisher's percussion section at from Winning World
Yeah, we
Class.
need some folks in some of
Yeah,
these.
Hmm.
um, out of there. LD Bell usually a staple around Union as
Mm-hmm.
well. Big rival to Broken Arrow. And then West
Castle's lower in
Castle,
there
yeah,
too.
Castle pretty typically strong too. Westlake out of Texas. I watched
Oh yeah.
that show. They got some good stuff happening with their show. All the Lonely People. They could do a really good job about weaving in that melody throughout the entire, musical score of that show. So um, I can see why they're one of the top, considered maybe one of the top 50 marching bands in the nation this year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, First one out, so number 33, Leander, who has been kind of up and coming here lately, and they only
Hmm.
fell a couple of spots out of it. So I'm kind of moving along. Um, 32, Keller out of Texas. 31, Rosemont out of Minnesota. 30,
The Cavaliers.
Jinx, who jumped into the top 30 out of being in the next 10. So looks like they had a good showing last weekend. Another, the big three you hear in Oklahoma, Broken Arrow, Union, and Jinx for sure. And Jinx is kind of trying to make their mark here, so good for them. And who else we got? Westwood out of Texas, Bridgeland out of Texas, who came from being unranked, so nice jump for them.
To being
Yeah,
ranked. That's a
yeah.
big jump.
Wando, South Carolina,
Hmm.
sneaky good. They are sneaky good. Please watch out for them. Um, I, I think probably I would say their ranking has to deal with just who they're seeing. Since strength
Probably.
of schedule is part of the rankings, and they're on the far East Coast, they don't get to see and go head to head with a
Yeah.
lot of groups. So, uh, Brownsburg, out of Indiana, CTJ, Claudia Taylor Johnson, big fall from 5th to 25th.
I wonder if they just haven't gone out. Like they went out once and maybe, but they also said that this is kind of determined from their state competition as well, right?
Yeah, just they look at their local shows too.
So that's real interesting.
So,
I wonder what
mm.
happened.
I mean, Zach, I think you watched part of this.
Hmm.
What
Well,
was it?
they at their finals on October 7th, they finished sixth behind
Mm,
Bridgeland, Pearland, Cyfair, Ronald Reagan, and Woodlands. So I
mm.
feel like that probably has something to do with it. Um,
So that sounds like maybe they came out strong and had the most on at the time, and then everybody showed
Mm,
up.
could be.
You know what
maybe.
I mean?
Um,
That's what that kind of sounds like happened.
but I mean, and that could explain why Bridgeland jumped up so much into the ranks
Hmm.
because they took down somebody like CTJ
When did that show happen?
October 7th.
Okay, so that was before this ranking from October 10th was posted. So, I mean, you would think from a head to head, though, you would have them ahead, but maybe not. So
Hmm.
that's something to look out for. Um, and 24th American Fork out of Utah, who jumped from the next 10 all the way up to number 24. Pretty cool show. They're doing a show called Visions of Red, um, and lots of really cool music. It's got some jazz orientation stuff in it. They do a lot of some sultry stuff. Color guards all daubed in red, and then they have some really cool red looking props.
They the state
Yeah, yeah, it
representative right
looks
now. They
like it, man.
only one holding it down.
Um, so I think that's pretty cool. I believe they've had an indoor group in the past. Um, so I don't know.
Hmm.
We got Round Rock sitting 23rd. Lake Travis out of Texas. That's a new name for me personally. I haven't seen them. Dobbins Bennett, 21st. Wakeland, Texas, 20th. Cedar Ridge, Texas, 19. Cedar Park, Texas, 18. I
Hmm.
saw that Cedar Park. I watched that Cedar Park show. I really like it. Like I kind of dig it. Kind of modern. Kind of had that modern sounding, um, contemporary type of marching band harmonies and stuff like that that I really like to watch. Um,
Word.
Jiro was it was clean, easy to recognize, and he did some really cool stuff with it. So, me personally, am I like Cedar Park. Well, I'm interested to see if they can keep fighting, pushing through. And don't let me jump over something. If y'all seen somebody, talk about
I was just looking at more schools, and that Houston regional where CTJ was, they were fourth in prelims and
them.
dropped to sixth in finals.
Hmm.
So that
Hmm.
could,
That's crazy.
So, as mentioned earlier, that was at that regional that this happened. Pearland High School, 17. You got Soft Fair out of Texas. Usually, if I'm not seeing where they're from, they're probably from Texas, or they're just that popular where you know where they're from. Soft Fair, 16 to begin the top half of the top 32. Coppell, 15th out of Texas. Blue Springs out of Missouri, 14th. Um, Vista Ridge, sitting 13th out of Texas.
Yeah, that
Is it
show's
good?
good.
What they got going on?
I do know that first beginning hit is pretty noise.
Noise. Flower Mound, 12th. Tarpon Springs, 11th. I tried to find a video of them, I couldn't.
They got that on lock.
No, that's not
Yeah,
out.
you ain't gonna see it.
A lot of
You
groups
ain't
are
gonna
like
see that
that.
until the next year. Like, I thought we watched that in finals. No, you didn't see that. Did not see that. Vandergrift, starting the top 10.
We'll have to come back to that one.
Listen.
You have to come back to that one?
Listen.
Okay.
Listen. They're gonna have to create a new rule for Vandergrift. Look, I love y'all, bro, but that ain't fair.
Ronald Reagan finishing, ranked 9th at the moment. Marcus, Texas, out of finishing, sitting 8th. I keep saying finishing. You're not finishing. That's where it's sitting in the ranking. William Mason out of Ohio, 7th right now. Ralph, sitting 6th. I heard a lot about them. They just came out of nowhere, from what I'm hearing, and so I went and watched it, and we can talk about that one a little bit later too. But I think it's deserved where they're sitting from a ranking standpoint. Good old Broken Arrow, sitting 5th right now. The Woodlands sitting 4th. They had a little bit of a jump, sitting 8th last week. Then your top 3: Avon out of Indiana, Carmel out of Indiana, and Hebron Drum and Bugle Corps.
Basically.
Drum and Fife Corps, sorry. Drum, Fife, and Bugle Corps. Sitting atop of the rankings. I think they've been up there for most of the season. So where y'all want to start? Because
let's just keep it on Hebron since we're on them right now.
All right.
It's just not fair. Texas is not fair, period. But like, I'm just sitting there watching, and first of all, how do you judge this? How do you not get overwhelmed and need to go sit in a corner for a little bit? Because that is just, I cannot imagine being in an ensemble that large. It's just not fair.
It's well done.
It's so, yeah.
Like,
it's so well done.
That whole opening segment that's kind of similar. That's similar to SCV when they did Force of Nature. Like, how are you gonna put me in the forest where I can hear nature? Like, that's not fair. It's fine, whatever. You do you. But yeah, I don't know how people. How do you write drill for a group that big? How do you? It's above my pay grade. Texas is not for me.
Yeah, it's strong. The title of their show is just called Monolith: A Hero's Journey. So lots of really cool music. Playing some Strauss, some Cooper, Devin Greenaway, some Hans Zimmerman. Just a lot of really good, eclectic source of music that they're using. And they are strong. Strong, as the people would say, with a K.
Strong.
They play really well. They march well. They are a force right now. And it's kind of it's kind of the cool thing about marching band. You can do it a lot of different ways. I mean, Carmel does it with finesse,
Mm-hmm.
and just pure artistic virtuosity and beauty. And, they are the epitome. Carmel's the epitome of concert band on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That's by far the best explanation
yeah,
I've ever heard. Like that's to the T for them,
like if you closed your eyes, you'd think
which is
they're all sitting in arcs the whole show.
which especially for high school. I mean that's kind of what you
Mm-hmm.
want. You want that kind of controlled and straightforward and you know uninterrupted sound quality. And if you can pull that off while moving, you're
Yeah.
doing it right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the weird juxtaposition thing that about BOA is, you know, regions rarely cross. So like you're not going to see Carmel and Avon going against Hebron and the Woodlands until
Mm-hmm.
Grand Nats. So you just don't know what's really happening um, with other folks. You just kind of have to guess, see what's going on. So, but yeah, if you can, and there's plenty of videos of Hebron out there, so
Mm-hmm.
you can watch those guys. Um, Rouse, wow,
Mm-hmm. That's good stuff.
like I was like, let me see what the hype's about. I see what the hype's about.
Yeah, they didn't waste no
Mm-hmm.
time
um,
on the count
yeah,
off.
they are out of Leander, Texas, as well. So something must be in the water in Leander. Um, to have That's the crazy thing about all of this. It's like some of these schools like have like multiple nationally known bands in like the same city, and these aren't like major cities. It's like,
It's crazy. It's crazy.
but um, but no, they that show's really really cool. Lots of once again like and it might just be the show design that I like as far as like a musical standpoint and the
Mm-hmm.
drill, but uh, very entertaining. Keeps you on your feet. Very easy to listen to.
Yes.
They don't bonk you over the head. Like we're gonna play with power,
Mm-hmm.
but we're not gonna overwhelm you with it. And it's just done really, really, really well. It'd be cool to see these guys in finals.
Yeah, it would.
It'd be really cool to
Yeah.
see these guys in finals. So look out for Rouse. The hype is real. The hype is deserved. So check them out. Kind of moving back down the line. Vandergift. Are we good to talk about Vandergift now? I think the ranking is where it is because it might be a little, and I'm saying this with a grain of salt, but it might be a little dirty. But man,
I don't even
is
care.
an
Even it.
entertainer.
uh,
I mean, when you got 2,000 kids on the field,
and a dance company.
yeah, whole dance. It's like how. It's like your whole woodwind section is all of Washington.
Like, can you imagine asking one of the dance company members, so like, what do you do? Well, I'm in marching band. Well, what do you play? I don't. Well, are you in color guard? No.
What?
Elaborate, please. I'm in the dance.
Elaborate.
I'm in the
Like,
dance troupe. What? Yeah, we have our own dance
I'm in
troupe.
the dance
Yeah,
ensemble.
like every year, not just some. No, every year. Yep. I'm like, all right, yeah. And they're not just out there like to move props and stuff.
No,
Come out and say hey and go back behind
they
it.
are
Like
part of the
it
show.
is, it is
It's the real
just.
deal.
How do you write for that? How? Teach me thy ways.
Well, I'd have to really look because do they pick up a flag ever?
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
they do. But still,
Yeah. Because I was just like, I mean, if you had a group that just danced the whole time, and then a group that spun the whole time, you're covering both bases.
I bet it's. I don't know. I was going to say it's one of those things where sometimes you kind of like numbers because now you're like, okay, we can theoretically do whatever I want in a sense. You know that they got the talent. I guess I'm trying to say sometimes maybe it's easier. I don't know. Maybe it's not.
That's
I guess I feel like if I knew I had more of something, I can do what I want easier. If that makes sense. If I have a certain idea for something like a drill move or something, oh, I got this many kids. We can
yeah.
make this
Mm.
instead of trying to. You sure I'm trying to go
Yeah.
with it?
Yep.
I
I
don't
see
know.
what you mean. Because they're like one thing I figured out this year writing our show was I had an idea and then I would get the block or the form set up and I would have one kid too many or
Mhm.
one kid fewer than I needed.
Mm,
And it's just like
Mhm.
frustrating.
undo
Mm-hmm.
everything.
You realize why all that they did all that grouping in elementary school, different ways to group stuff together.
Hmm.
You kind of learn to drop, think outside the box, especially when you get like a prime number that can't be
Yep.
divisible by anything. It's like, why there's got to be 17 kids?
Yep.
18 would have
Right.
been fantastic.
No, you can't
16
do
would have
that.
been fantastic. But no, had to be 17.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Um, but there we are. And then musically, yeah, like,
It's it's almost not even
Mm-mm.
fair, man.
um,
I could go hours just talking about the front ensemble by itself,
I think
but
the woodwinds play
this whole
more
band.
notes in the first minute of
I've
the show than
listen.
all of
I said,
Kentucky.
how y'all go get? How, how you go get your own movement?
Right.
all right,
They had the
moving one,
snappiest
aka
horns down known to man after you're
Yeah.
done. Like,
because they
good
know they just laid
mix.
it down.
Like, you got smoke coming off your fingers.
They knew they laid it down. They're like, we just did that,
We
and
played every scale known to man all at the same time.
it worked.
Hmm.
But and then they had and then they did that, and then the brass was like, we can double tongue. So
On
they
the
did
other
that for
side
like,
of the field.
yeah,
Like, yeah. Get out of here.
yeah. They played a whole lick. The band had a whole lick 20 yards apart. Man, what are we doing? And
The
then
most.
trombones had the slickest glissando.
Boy, it is beautiful. Like I'd have got up and walked out. I said, I'm not
I
doing
would have
this.
threw somebody who was sitting beside me. I'm like, what? Did you hear that?
Whoever made the video that we watched at the end of the show, they go, I can't hear shit. Like, like, yes. Like, I'm watching and they got done with, I think it was that woodwind feature at the very beginning, and you hear the person video and go, ooh, like they
Mm-hmm.
were exhausted. It's like, you just sit there eating your
Like
popcorn, listen, and you're tired.
right. Like you was
Yeah.
on the field. Like, dang,
I
I
was
ain't
like,
even
right? I
do
was like, I
nothing.
was just a spectator.
Jeez.
Kids, man, there's so much talent
Hmm.
in this world. It's ridiculous. So, um, and then let's see. Like I said, I caught Cedar Park. I really like that show. American Fork pretty cool.
Hmm.
So I'm looking forward to seeing a few folks. I want to see Tarpon Springs.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to see what Carmel and Avon are doing because they typically do some pretty interesting things. Um,
There's a I do this in indoor too. Sometimes, especially if I know I'm going to be able to see a group on Flow or actual live show or something like that, or in person or anything like that. I typically will avoid some YouTube videos because there is a video of
mhm,
Avon out, but I was like, you know what? I'm actually going to wait for them, and I kind of want to see them, like them, Tarpon Springs. There's no video on Tarpon, but I do want to wait to actually see the real live performance of Tarpon and at least Tarpon Avon, and probably I have not seen Broken. I'm a fan of
mhm.
Broken and Carmel. See what they talk about, and Blue Spring.
Yeah, Blue Springs is always interesting too.
Mm-hmm.
I usually tend to like their shows as well. So, um, so this weekend, the few BOA regionals, probably the one of note is the Indianapolis, Indiana Super Regional.
Mm-hmm.
That's happening on the 20th and the 21st. I believe that's Friday, Saturday.
Yep.
Um, how do they get these kids out of school to start at 10 a.m.? Anyway, um,
Listen.
so some groups of note that are going to be at that regional. Brownsburg is going to be there. Castle's going to be there. Ben Davis is going to be there. I know they're not in the top 32 right now, but they still want to watch. William Mason will be
Mm-hmm.
there. Franklin
Mm-hmm.
Central is usually a pretty strong group. Avon, of course. Center Grove, don't sleep on them. Carmel's going to be there as well, same block. You have Fishers, who's probably going to try to jump into the top 32. Um, Jasper. Jasper has been a final, not maybe not a finalist, but they have been a semifinalist. I'm pretty sure in recent years. So watch out for them. Centerville, uh, a couple of other Lakota West, uh, O'Fallon
O'Fallon.
Township, usually pretty strong.
Mm-hmm.
Beaver Creek out of Ohio, usually pretty strong. Um, North Hardin out of Kentucky may be a sleeper. Who knows?
Choctaw
Uh,
High.
Choctaw, Kettering, Fairmont, Union High Schools. So Union from Oklahoma is coming over, so that'll be a good test for them going against Avon and Carmel. Um, and yeah, those are the big ones that I could rattle off. So, like I said, that is a 2-day prelims. So that starts Friday at 10 a.m. and it goes all the way until 3 o'clock on Saturday for prelims, and then finals start at 6:30. So that's a
Long,
big show.
long
Long, yeah,
weekend. Everybody
that's a
better
lot of
sleep
band.
on the way home.
That is a lot of band.
Mandatory go to sleep.
Especially if you're going Friday Friday night, you're like, all right.
Shh.
Because our buds would go to school and then drive up to Indy and then play.
No.
Because
No, thank you.
we should have that time for it. So, and then some other regionals that are happening as well. College Park, Maryland regional is going to be that day. Johnson City, Tennessee. Um,
Johnson City, Tennessee.
Oh
yeah,
God.
Sorry.
yeah, yeah. And then Orlando, Florida. They're going to be in the Camping World Stadium there.
Woo.
So, and that's a nice stadium.
Some pretty good Kentucky representation in Johnson City.
Oh yeah, who's going to be there?
Mm.
GRC,
Okay.
George Rogers
Uh-oh.
Clark. Shout out AJ Cook, and you can't forget the pride of the bluegrass, Lafayette.
They're driving there now.
All right.
Yeah,
They
some
went a
interest.
few years ago and won the Johnson City Regional.
Okay.
Um,
There are some notable groups in the South that we may not hear of all the time. Um, Ravenwood from Tennessee,
hmm
Hardin Valley Academy out of Tennessee,
Mm-hmm.
Pope out of Georgia, Franklin out of Tennessee, Kennesaw Mountain
Yep.
um, out of there, Cary High School out of North Carolina, like you said, Lafayette. Who
I've heard
else
of
we
that
got?
Spartanburg, South Carolina before
Yeah,
as well.
Spartanburg as well.
Yeah, E-Town.
That's Tennessee.
Well, that's not
Yeah,
Kentucky's,
yeah.
but
And Dimas Bennett gets to go
hmm
last. So, so there's that. Is Tarpon Springs going to the Orlando region? Let's look. We got Boone High School, Jupiter Community, Park
Yeah, they'll be
Vista,
there.
Stoneman Douglas,
mm-hmm.
uh,
Broken Arrow will be
Uh-huh.
there.
Broken Arrow's going to Orlando.
Yep.
Ain't nothing getting
Mm-hmm.
done. Archbishop Alter going all the
Nice.
way down there from Ohio. Um, Seminole, Timber Creek, Osawa from Oklahoma. Sound like people going on vacation.
Yeah, they all getting in that Disney
Basically.
parade.
Mm-hmm. So there you go. So that's not gonna be a bad regional
How
either.
fun.
Um, I'll be interested to see how Archbishop does. We get to go against them at mid states. They're gonna
And
crush us
just
by like 75, but that's
win the
beside the point.
whole they win the whole thing.
They go down there and win that regional. I'm I'm done. You know what? It was nice. It was a fun season. So yeah. So BOA is really live and well. And they stream these on Saturday. So if you're not going to a contest or you got an early contest, you can watch these. I think they're all on Box Five. I think that's where you can watch all of those.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah. So lots of really good stuff. And the next couple of weeks probably will start the semifinals and finals picture probably start getting a lot clearer, and those rankings will probably start to solidify stuff a little bit more. So we're gonna try to keep track with this as this goes along. We are Kentucky this is regional week for Kentucky, so uh, it's kind of a big week for marching band. The next 2 weeks, our regionals this week, and then our state championships are the following Saturday. So
hmm
we are, I know a lot of some circuits around the country are just now starting, and we're almost done, which is probably a good thing because it gets cold here.
Yep.
Our little kids would be freezing their little tushies off if we went too much further. So
We are on like show 3, I think.
so,
It may be 4, but I feel like it's 3.
yeah. So let us know in the comments who you like so far, who you're rooting for, who you think the surprises are, who you think maybe is overrated. I don't know. Zach likes the controversy. So um, let us know in the comments below. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. You can also listen to us on Spotify.fm. Not Spotify.fm. I always add the .fm. How do I do that? Spotify.
Because I've done it for
I
40
did, yeah.
episodes.
And then it changed for whatever reason. Anyway, you can find us all on all those listening platforms. Like, comment, share, subscribe, please, because it's free and we like you.
That's right.
And let us know what you want to hear and talk about. We can do some reacts to some of these videos as well.
hmm
So your versus her. We are pretty good about if somebody suggests somebody, us do the video.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
Heartbeat.
So we want to do what you want. What do you want to see or hear?
We are
This is
Yep.
really your podcast.
Yes.
You just didn't
Yep.
know it.
yes.
You're planning everything. We just show up on Sundays or Mondays or whenever we decide to stuff because we never know. They were just like, hey, they said do this, so we're gonna do this. Anyway, so fellas, y'all got anything else before we bounce out about it?
Go band.
Yay, band. Good luck to everybody this weekend in
Yes.
Kentucky. I guess everywhere, but really Kentucky because gonna be a lot of sad kids Saturday.
I'm sorry.
Not gonna be us. We got 3 weeks left, so it doesn't matter.
Lots of tears.
Because either one or two things are gonna happen. They either gonna be like, well, it was a really cool show, or they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, they beat blah 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 blah. Holy crap. And either way they're talking about.
I'm ready for the
Hey,
upsets.
listen, we trying. That's what I told him. I said, I'm petty. Make somebody mad Saturday.
Yes.
Let's
I want
just
the
do it.
upsets.
So
All the way
Yep.
to state.
we'll try. I'm going regardless, because
It's here.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
whether I have a
Probably
band
in
with
the
me,
hospitality room or something, Mr.
oh,
President.
I know.
it's gonna be.
Living there.
I really hope like the press box is on the good side of Western. I'm gonna act
Hey, y'all streaming it this year?
Western. I don't think so. I don't
Finals?
know. I haven't heard anything.
I don't know.
Box 5 used to do it.
Somebody's mom will
if-
probably stream
if I
it
find
on
out, I'll let you know.
Facebook Live.
Yeah.
Listen. Tell them to do it. Set up the
Yeah,
camera.
15 different types of arrested.
I'll sign back in just for that.
Just for that. They can do it Instagram Live.
They only give you a certain amount of time.
Yeah. So anyway, for Zach and Will and Chris, who's in the Bermuda Triangle right now, this has been episode 55 on the Back Cash. Everybody take care. Good luck to Saturday. And we are dut,
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 out.
Dut.
out.